What's up, guys? This is Jo, aka Chester, and I'm giving you visuals for my newest podcast, Chester's Podcast. Um, I didn't do it with Fresh and Famous, so this is an opportunity for you to see, me doing my pre-record thing. On the actual podcast is going to be edited, but on this you get the raw footage of everything that I'm discussing and whatever I'm doing, like drinking water or whatever. So I just want you to enjoy. This is going to be for YouTube and all the other good stuff, and this is a cool background for you guys to look at as well. It took me a little while to get that done, so let's go ahead and get this popping. This is sponsored by Crystal Geyser, the cheapest water for people who are on a budget. All right, here we go. Yo, welcome to Chester's Podcast, the new podcast name and nickname. I'm Jo, aka Chester, and thank you for taking the time, to check out this new podcast episode. There's a lot I want to discuss. I want to cover this Meek Mill versus Drake beef, of course. It's been going viral, so we want to cover this. Also, I want to give my take on the Sandra Bland death and, give my 2 cents about what I think happened. And I want to discuss these viral videos and is there too much that's being exposed in the world. We see fights, magic tricks, pranks, Vine videos, police brutality, sex. We see a lot. The problem that I have is there way too much that's getting put out, and does it take away the whole purpose of internet surfing? I don't want to check my Facebook and see someone break an arm, because I know if that was me that was being recorded, I'd be pissed. It's too much that's being put out, and sometimes it's being put out without approval. And it could be dangerous. We saw the YouTube and Vine celebrity Tyrone who got shot in Texas. And the worst part about it is that kind of shit gets added onto your resume. So I want to talk about this kind of stuff right here on Chester's Podcast. Now, it's been a minute since I've done a podcast. I was spending time observing and listening to other shows. Also been checking social media a lot and, trying to get into shape health-wise. I'm drinking this protein shake, actually, and the powder came from 24 Hour Fitness, and it's pretty good. It's called Quest Protein, and it's used for shakes, cookies, cakes, all sorts of bakery mix. Now, there's no sugar added, which really shouldn't be in protein shakes if you ask me. 40% micellar casein and 50% whey isolate. Now, for those who don't know about protein stuff, and I'm still learning this myself, so bear with me. Micellar casein is a dietary supplement which is created by separating components from milk. Whey contains proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals. And, I chose an isolate brand because it's good for my metabolism. And, I'm restricting the amount of calories that I consume. Plus with all my workout routine, the way that worked, which lags because, I work, I consume a lot more food, which is great because the amount of sugar that I consume, it balances out with how much of the shake that I drink. And the isolate, it gives a better response too, to the insulin than, a concentrate whey shake does. It's pretty much like it saves you from getting diabetes. It saves you from, it prevents you from getting diabetes. And it just absorbs so well, man. Like, when you drink a shake and you're just full, this just absorbs so well in my body that it's good for the stomach and is great for a post-workout. I can work out like 30 minutes after and not have to feel full or lazy or anything like that. And so I'd recommend that if you have a 24-hour fitness membership, or if you go to 24-hour fitness, they have it at GNC, I'm sure, but it seems like it would be too much because they're expensive there. But if you have a membership, or if you just end up stopping by, or even order it, they have an option for you to order it on their website. Get that Quest Protein, and they have different flavors. They have strawberry, peanut butter, vanilla, chocolate. I have peanut butter because I like the taste of peanut butter. So check that out, and get the whey isolate, not the concentrate. Get the isolate. It's better for your stomach, I should say. Now, while I haven't been doing podcasts, I've been watching a lot of interviews, and I watched Angie Martinez's interview with Baby. Let me just tell you, that was by far the worst interview that I've heard her do. You know, it wasn't even necessarily an interview. It was just her catching up with an old friend. I was expecting all the issues that Birdman was involved in, you know, with Lil Wayne suing Birdman, you know, Birdman accused of throwing a bottle at Lil Wayne at a concert, Wayne's bus getting shot up, Tyga, you know, tweeting that he wants out of Cash Money along with a number of other Young Money artists. All of this was mentioned, but there was nothing resolved or even discussed necessarily, you know? I felt like Angie, she shouldn't have been the one to interview him because she's just so cool with everyone and, you know, is sort of meek towards artists who've been out for a while, you know? They should have added like a Sway or an Oprah, someone who gets to the bottom and, you know, who has a solution. By all means, don't get me wrong. I love Angie's interviews. You know, I love the way she carries herself, but this wasn't it. You know, Birdman is the kind of guy that you have to ask those hard questions and like pretty much go Bill O'Reilly on him. So that was a waste of an hour's worth of my day. And then on top of that, Birdman was smoking during the interview, which was hard for me to take serious, you know. But an interview I did take serious was with Khloe Kardashian. My goodness, man, she has came a long way. I still see people, you know, they're dissing her on social media about her weight, but Khloe has made successful progress after all the shit that's happened after her divorce and breakups, you know what I mean? And she even mentioned it too, that the stress comes from, you know, everything that's going on. You know, back when her father and had that OJ trial, you know, they were stressing over that and they were consuming more food. So it's pretty much, not hereditary, but it's pretty much in the family that they do those kind of things. And that was a great interview. She even said that in a Complex interview that the gym was pretty much her place of solitude and she could have a moment to herself. And that's a good thing. You know, that compared to food is way, of course, a better solution. The part that's sad to me though, man, is that she has social anxiety now because of this punk ass paparazzi people, man. One thing I can't stand about TMZ and paparazzi is that when they ask those unnecessary questions, dude, like they pretty much ask shit that Twitter trolls tweet to celebrities, and that's just disgusting and inappropriate. Like, if I'm a celebrity, do you really think I'm gonna be answering that shit? You know what I mean? The way people make money nowadays is insane because, you know, they just do the most. And I honestly laugh when I find out, you know, paparazzi guys get punched by, you know, these celebrities. It's because no one wants to invade, you know, nobody wants to be invaded with their personal privacy, you know? Paparazzi is the most fuck shit job anybody could take. If you apply to become a celebrity blog photographer or a videographer, you're pretty much signing up to get punched out. Just like when I see Kanye get in trouble for his assaults and Justin Bieber, you know, I actually root for those guys because I myself, I'm a conservative person. You know, I would never want anyone asking me shit that I've done in the past while I'm walking on Hollywood Boulevard enjoying my time with my entourage or my girl or whatever. I'm trying not to cuss excessively, man, but fuck paparazzi, man. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. Break. Sorry, I had to take a water break. Meek Mill versus Drake. Toronto versus Philly. And no, I'm not talking about basketball or baseball. I would have never expected these two to go at it like they are right now. But obviously Drake is winning and Meek is quiet, like the definition of meek. Unless something new has changed, because this podcast was recorded Thursday morning. But if you've been living under a rock, Meek Mills tweeted last week dissing Drake because Drizzy didn't tweet his album. But then again, when you think about it, when does Drake ever tweet? He's not really a social media guy. The last thing Drake tweeted while Meek dissed him was "fix yourself" with a lot of X's or whatever. So we didn't know what to expect. And then Drake came out with a track called Charged Up. You know, Meek Mills called it soft. People had their doubts about it. And me, I thought it was neutral. I thought it was a neutral, calm track with subliminal shots. And then we heard him on a track with Daylight, which pretty much added more heat to the tea kettle. It didn't really receive too much exposure. But, you know, like I said, it was pretty hot. You know, and Daylight killed it. And now, after a few days, Drake has dropped back to back. And let me just say that this is an anthem. I would hate to be Meek Mills, be in the club, and they play this shit, dog. That would be mind-blowing if they do something like that. straight shots left to right about being bodied by a singer. You know, Meek being on his girl's tour. You know, all of this going on. And what does Mills say? Nothing. Man. Let me tell you the difference between a rapper and a talker, right? A rapper is about it. A rapper doesn't waste time on social media about how many watches or cars he has, because when you're at the top, none of that matters. You know, we see Meek shining. We respect Meek's music and we admire the relationship that he has with Nicki Minaj. But for him to go on a rant and talk about Drake not writing his lyrics? See, I listened to the interview Angie Martinez did with Drake before the memes, and you know, it was about Drake, you know, people not messing with Drake lyrically, and you know, he's waiting for them and all this stuff. And you even heard it, like on the Stay Scheming song, you know, Drake just can't be messed with lyrically. You know, he's a very unpredictable person. So for him to drop 2 or 3 tracks and have no response from his opponent all week, Meek Mills, really? That's a W for Drake. And that's a huge fan base loss for Mills, because now people don't believe Meek can beat him. You know, trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. My God, that was great. You know what I mean? You know what Meek should do? Here's what Meek should do, is keep it on Twitter. You know, he doesn't have to make a diss record. You know, he can just keep it, just bring it back to his roots and just freestyle on video and post it on Twitter. But, you know, he's a cocky guy, and, you know, sometimes he doesn't know his worth and he gets carried away. You know, like Fetty Wap, he's in that same kind of position, you know, where he can be cocky and, you know, he just dropped a new track or whatever. But Fetty Wap, man, you can't, you know, and even like outside of rap, you know, Adrian Broner, we see how he was, you know, when he was the cocky type, oh, I got all this and blah, blah, blah. And you can lose all of that quick, dog. You know what I mean? Fetty Wap could lose his reputation like that. He probably did lose a few fans after what he said on Instagram. You can lose all of that shit, man. You know why Drake only puts it in the music? Because it's music, dog. It's music. That's what it's always about at the end of the day. He keeps it in the ring. He keeps it to where he feels comfortable the most. Anyone could go on a Twitter rant and diss one another, but putting out a track is where it all stands, you know? I don't know if I want to hear Meek Mill's verse now. I hate waking up in the morning or before I go to sleep, checking social media to see Meek Mill's page, and if he responded the way people are posting memes about his fake freestyle with all the, you know, the crickets and the Welvin the Great, which was funny, by the way. It's like the boy who cried wolf to me, you know? Now, what Meek should also do is apologize and say, you know what? You got me, fam. I can't come back from that. Then we can respect him a little more, you know? But he won't do that because of his pride, you know? Because when you're flaunting money on Instagram, there's no way in hell you're going to submit and be like, you know what? I lost. I got to take an L. Hell no. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. If it does, what can Meek say? You know, he can't diss Drake about how soft he is. I mean, he can, but I mean, come on. This is like a B Rabbit versus Papa Doc moment right now, people. Like Charlamagne said, he has to come with ether. Meek Mills literally has to, if he's going to come out with this record, he has to literally diss even more people that he doesn't like. And that includes Kendrick Lamar for the Control verse. Anyways, we have so much to cover on this podcast. Macklemore. Man, Macklemore. He was involved in an interview with Complex as well. When I found out that he was interviewed, I thought it was over his success in the past, you know, with Ryan Lewis, you know, the whole texting Kendrick Lamar after their award show. But the guy actually relapsed. He relapsed into lean and marijuana. You know what I mean? Like, when I had a talk with my brother, and this is, you know, this is still continuing on, but when I had a talk with him about the industry, you know, he mentioned it's a lot of pressure, dude, you know, with being successful and social media on your back, along with competition, you know, it can make you want to escape. And I absolutely agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. This is minor compared to Macklemore's problem. But when I started doing radio, all the requests, you know, the girls who didn't give a shit about me in high school, the other 25% who don't take you serious, that shit can weigh you down, man. You know, I never had a situation where I was forced to escape reality, but you know, I mean, I did when I, you know, broke up with my first love, but that's another story. But I've never been in that position to where, I have to do lean